Hi, Arindam,
Uh,
how are you?
hi, Navita. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Good, thank you. Can you hear me? Am I
Yeah,
audible?
yeah. Sorry, it was just some time that it was taking a bit long to connect,
That's
but
all
finally
right.
we are there. We are there to connect with you.
Yeah,
How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. What's going on?
Absolutely fine. Everything is going fine. Having some good times at this point of time.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
Navita, today we are going to our a lot of very excited viewers are there today. Over there, a lot of the YouTube channel.
So
How's it going on with everything, with your work, and
with my work,
how it's been some time that you have just come back to India.
yeah. So
So how's it going on with your work?
it's going really well. So I studied my architecture from Sushan School of Art and Architecture. I completed my degree in 2011, and
Right.
after that I had worked with like high-end hospitality projects and hotel industry for good 6 years. And then I thought,
Yeah.
okay, let's just go some other country and explore how architectural thing how work would be there in the other countries.
Right.
Working in New Zealand was a bit different, and but first thing that I used to ask my friends that you have to be clear if you're going abroad that what you are looking for. Like if some people used to just say that okay, I'm just going for an adventure, and otherwise it might you have to be very clear what you're looking for if you're going abroad. I do not want that
Right.
all these things just turn into a nightmare. So it's a very different experience. For architects, it's
So
quite easy to look for
before we
jobs
head on,
anywhere.
yeah, Navita, before we head on to your journey,
I,
what it was like in. Can you hear me?
yeah.
Hello.
Yes, I can.
Can you hear me, Navita? Okay.
Yeah,
So
I can hear
before we
you.
head on to
Yeah,
this
yeah, I can.
entire
Yeah.
thing of, okay. So before we head on to this entire thing of how your journey was in New Zealand, so let's first take a
Right.
recap of, where you started from in India. You after you graduated
Uh,
from Sushant School of Architecture.
so I
So
the first thing I
tell
did
us your
was
experience in India first.
okay. So I joined Max Ventures. So basically there was an architectural venture, a small office studio which was a part of Max Group of Industries. So I was completely handling their interior design projects, and there were Spanish architects involved, which was a first step to get fascinated by foreign architects, somewhere. And then
Mm.
after working with Max Ventures for a good 2.5, 3 years, then I switched my
Right,
job and I started working with Lemon Tree Hotels. But again, that was again a
right,
hospitality industry. So, but after seeing those Spanish architects, my focus was just to experience and explore what is the work culture abroad. So that is the
right.
reason. So all my portfolio completely working in India was all related to hospitality and working for high-end hospitality interior projects. So yeah.
Wonderful. So once shifted down to New Zealand, so tell me about the first way, the way you found a job over there in New Zealand.
So first thing that I figured out while going there, because my portfolio and my experience was so extensive, and I had good 6 years of experience. But when I went there, everyone used to just reject my application, saying that, oh, you are overqualified for this job. So somewhere after 15
Okay.
days, I realized that I need to just, okay, I'm gonna do a play around with my CV. So I downgraded my CV from mentioning that, okay, I was a senior interior designer here to a level that okay, I was just an interior designer. So there were
Right.
like 100 application that was rejected. The people they rejected me, saying that you are overqualified for this job. So I had to
Right. Is it?
downgrade. I think it entirely depends on the type of country you are going to, because New Zealand, it's a very small country. So that is why you have to be really careful. So what I did was I downgraded my CV. I started looking for jobs, and straight after I got into a job with Retail Dimensions, where I was again doing interior designing for them. Um,
Right.
so it's kind of it's not very difficult to get jobs abroad. It's just your portfolio should be strong, your communication skills should be really strong, and the way you present yourself. So yeah, that
So
was
in New Zealand, like as we know that if we go to the US or we go to the UK, and we want to find out a job over there, but
yeah.
they don't give that much importance to the Indian degree,
um
unless you are a postgraduate degree holder from that particular company, that particular country. So
Yeah,
in New Zealand, does this thing matter that you need to have a degree from New Zealand
it
or from
does.
Australia?
Not really. So if you want to practice your own projects or own architecture stuff, so you have to have a degree from New Zealand. But again, to get a registration there, there's a different process. So every country has got different processes, right? So for in New Zealand, it's not. They do give preference to Indians as well, but it completely depends on your portfolio. So New Zealand is one country that I've been compared to Australia or any other country. It's just there's no racism there. There's no stuff like, okay, you are an Indian, you're gonna not gonna get hired by us. So that's not the case there. They completely
Right,
see your skills, they completely see your portfolio. But it was a great
right.
experience working there with all the
So compared to your work culture over here in India and people you have been working around in India, and when you compare the same work experience over there in New Zealand, what is the level of difference that you find in professionalism and work ethics and
um
these kind of things in architecture firms over there or interior design firms?
I do not want to discourage anyone who people who are working in India. It's just that people always want to see if the grass is really greener on the other side. So let's find out. So what I experienced was, if there's a culture of work environment there from working from 9 to 5, so you have 5 o'clock, your boss will come to you and he'll be like, why are you sitting? You have to finish your work. Like, just shut down your laptop and go home, or probably just go out for
Okay,
a drink. So it's very professional. If it's 9 to 5, it has to be 9 to 5. If there is a deadline, it's the Indian culture and it's the Indianness of any architect that if there's a deadline, I want to finish this project by this deadline. So it's
right,
it's our problem. It's not their problem, right? So the people there are
absolutely. So if
very
you think that you can just relax for a while and complete the work at a
definitely,
different point of time, that's our
definitely,
own problem.
definitely. You
But
don't. They do
over
not.
there
They do not appreciate
so
that
their
you take
culture is
work
that
home.
you have a stipulated time and you complete your work within that time.
Right, and they do not appreciate at all that you go home and work on office projects at home. So that is the best thing I
Right.
really liked about that country. Yeah.
Wonderful. And I see a lot of these young kids, they are really excited about, how to get a job abroad and what are the prospects of, getting a job abroad after doing BR. How important is it to get a master's degree, if you want to go abroad and work, in any firm, in a
Right.
country outside India. So, what is your take on that? Have you got any advice for these young
Um.
kids who are now
Right. So what I want to say that definitely one person. I'm a person. I'll be the last person to say that do not explore things in your life. If I talk about myself,
right?
apart from architecture, I definitely have done got. I've got my own company of social media marketing, and I've seen so many architects getting diverse into different fields. Right. So even if you go abroad, pick any education thing. It's you always have different choices and options. If you're just going to explore,
Absolutely,
if you want to just grow your professional network, if you want to be more open minded, if you want your portfolio to be more diversified, then I would definitely suggest just that you should just go abroad. And after that, if you think that you want to come back and you are missing your family and you want to be in your own country, there is no harm in that. So sometimes people
absolutely,
do say that, okay, oh, she came back because probably because of the visa restrictions, or maybe she did not like it there. It's not the case. It's just that
right,
it is always like you want to go back to your own country once you have experienced a lot of things. And I feel that I'm more open minded now. I have got more experience. I've got my portfolio is more diversified. I've got a bit more professional network as well. So it's a very great
absolutely,
experience. So it's not that I would not discourage anyone to not take this experience if they want to go abroad. Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, but again, if I would obviously like to ask you that once now that you have spent a lot of time abroad working with so many international designers, you have gained that experience that what are the designing cultures going on out of the country, and now that you are in the country, what do you think that how much can you implement those stuffs in your work that you will be now going ahead with in
Hmm.
India?
The first thing that I would want to say that the structure and the
Yeah,
systematic way of working, I would definitely implement it here. Um, Everyone
absolutely.
has got different design styles, so I would not want to comment on the design style of architects there and design style of architects here. It's just that I would definitely want to implement the processes, the system, the way they work. I think this is the most important thing.
That's very
So
important.
their culture was,
Yes,
if you're spending 8 hours at work, then that 8 hours should be the most productive hours. You don't have to sit after
absolutely.
8 or sit till like 2 o'clock in the morning and then keep working on the projects. It doesn't make sense. So that
Very
is
true.
the
Very
best
true.
thing.
Yeah.
If you're there, just treat the business as your own business. Then only you would be able to dedicate completely to those 8 hours, right? So that is my
Very true. And
suggestion.
and and to a lot of young architects who are, right now listening to this show, I
Right.
must tell them that, and I always tell that in my videos even, that they ask that, how much can they earn, or how much can they really mint out money after doing architecture. So if you are not serious about your job, even if you're in a job, and if you're not doing that job seriously, thinking that it's your own business, till that
Hmm.
time you're not going to grow. If you do a job like a job, then the employer who has employed you will also know that you're not that serious a guy
Exactly.
to work with,
I completely
and he will
agree.
not give you the kind of breaks that you require.
Yeah. So one
So that is something where you need to be very serious at.
Exactly. So the one value that you should have in your mind when you're doing a job anywhere is just treat the business as your own business. That's the best thing you can do if you want to grow. If you just
Yes, and
working
that
just
will
for the
actually
sake
take
of,
you ahead with that.
exactly, that way you will learn more, you will earn as well. So that's the, like, you can't just go for the sake of it. If you are not serious about your job, it's, if you're treating it as a job and then I'm getting money out of it, but I'm just gonna spend 8 hours doing nothing, it doesn't make sense to me. So you have to
Right,
be
right.
very, like, you have to treat the business as your own. That's the best
Right, but
thing.
at the same time, again, there is another challenge that the new architects are facing, is that they are saying that we are working hard, but we are working hard for a very minimum amount of money in India,
Mm,
because obviously the pay scales are now getting lower with the kind of
definitely.
situation in the market with the construction industry. Uh, but even then, that does not, these kind of struggles are there in every field, but the students need to really the young people who are coming into the industry has to
Hmm.
really work out hard in the place where they are.
So
They need
that,
to learn the work. Yeah,
yeah,
please,
I
please
think
go
so.
ahead.
That's where the mentality comes in. So I was mentoring two students, from one from Germany and one from US. So both of them was so keen to just get a job, get an experience, even if they doesn't get paid. So that is where,
Right,
what I feel is architecture is very creative field. So the more you learn, the more you gain. Like even now, and I'm like 32 and I've got 11 years of experience, I'm still think that I don't know everything. So you still
right,
keep learning things, right? So that way I
right,
feel that first thing I would suggest architects, like the fresh young graduates, that they should just stop thinking too much about the money at this stage. If they are leaving the college, they should just first focus on making their portfolio strong, so that they can actually apply for better jobs, or maybe get into freelance work, or get practice their own architectural stuff. So I think I would recommend that
right.
only. Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, at least a 3 years of very extensive portfolio building should be there at the very initial stage,
Right.
where
Yes.
you are actually working hard to build up your portfolio, and
Yes.
not concentrating off that in the initial first 3 years, what am I
Exactly.
earning.
Exactly.
If you can create your first 3 years of portfolio, the later part of your job is going to give you the money
Yes, exactly.
for
Because
doing that.
if I go for interviews now as well, the first thing that any employer is looking at my portfolio is the first job that I worked on. It was a Vana resort. It
Right,
was a 7-star resort. They still look at my drawings and they say that these are commendable. So because I
right,
totally gave my energy into that project, and I totally loved working there. So that is kind of like a highlight in my portfolio. So everyone,
right.
first job for you should be like just your business. That's it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wonderful. So I think that that's something that we really wanted to give a head start to these young architects, as in that how an architect from India goes ahead, abroad, works over there, the kind of experience that you gain abroad, as well as the
Yeah.
kind of relatable experience that you gain in India, and how do they match with each other. and how do they gel well with each other to grow your portfolio well.
Right.
So I think the new architects and the fresh architects are going to have a lot of insights from this video.
I'm
The
sure.
way you have interacted and experienced sharing that you have done is really going to be helpful for them.
I hope
Wonderful,
so.
Navita. Yeah, thanks a lot for
Thank
joining
you.
with us on this session.
Thank you so
It
much
was it
for
was a wonderful chit chat with you. So
and
this is a short chit chat that we are going to come up with with other architects also
yeah.
who has the experience like you have, and we are going to enlighten the mind of these new architects
Right. But I would
the best way
definitely
possible.
want to say one thing. I've watched all your YouTube videos. They are so amazing. I would definitely
Yeah,
recommend
thanks a
all the
lot.
architects and the students to just subscribe to your YouTube channel. Definitely. It's the
Thanks a
best thing
lot.
I've,
Thanks a lot.
because you actually gain a lot of knowledge from there. So instead of having chats like an architect like me, but they can even get a lot of information from your videos too.
Absolutely, and I try to give them as much as possible from
yeah.
all my videos. Thanks a lot, Navita,
Thank
for
you.
joining us today, and it was a great experience with you.
Same here. Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, so all the architects who are watching, this video today, Navita's, Instagram profile, you should actually go and follow that so that you can understand
It's a
exactly
private
what work
profile.
she is doing. Absolutely, even the private profile, they give us a lot of
yeah.
details to us. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Once
right.
you start putting up your work and everything, that also gives
Right.
a lot of details to us.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, thanks a lot, Navita.
Thank you.
Take
Have a
care.
good day.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye, bye.